It's Friday, March 21st, 2025. This is the Daily Dispatch from the Bull Moose Network. Let's crack open a bottle of what's happening at Coca-Cola. Spoiler alert, it ain't sweet. The strike that started in Fort Wayne is now bubbling up in Toledo. Teamsters Local 20 is the latest to walk off the job, joining the wave of resistance against Coca-Cola Consolidated, the largest Coca-Cola bottler in the country. And let's be clear, this isn't about soda. This is about greed, broken promises, and a company trying to squeeze every last drop out of its workers while handing executives a golden chalice. Negotiations broke down after the company refused to offer basic, livable improvements to wages and working conditions. Instead, they tried to jam through a contract full of takeaways, gutting overtime protections, threatening job security, and eliminating long-standing rights. Workers said no. Management called it a misunderstanding. And then, like clockwork, came the retaliation. Now the Teamsters are filing unfair labor practice charges, accusing Coca-Cola Consolidated of bargaining in bad faith and using scare tactics to intimidate workers into submission. And they're right to do it. When one of the most profitable beverage giants in the world starts acting like a corner store union buster, it's not a misunderstanding. It's a strategy. The company made $6.4 billion in net operating revenue last year. CEO Frank Harrison pulled in over $7 million in total compensation. Yet the workers hauling cases, maintaining machinery, and keeping the supply chain moving are being offered scraps. That's the Coca-Cola formula in 2025. Maximum profits, minimum dignity. Let's talk about what's really going on here. This isn't just a local labor spat. It's part of a nationwide pattern. Corporations flush with pandemic-era profits turning around and tightening the screws on the very workers who kept their empires running during the worst of it. Teamster leadership is standing tall, saying more locations could join the strike if Coca-Cola Consolidated doesn't get its act together. And good. This is what solidarity looks like. This is what happens when workers stand together. This is what it looks like when power actually is concentrated by the workforce. And the Bull Moose Network backs every Coca-Cola worker standing tall against corporate extortion dressed up as efficiency. If there's cash for shareholders, there's cash for labor. No excuses, no spin. So here's the deal, Coca-Cola. The Teamsters aren't backing down. The workers aren't biting their tongues, and the American people aren't looking away. Fix the contract, respect labor, or get used to the taste of a nationwide strike. Now let's turn our attention to a pressing issue impacting Michigan. The recent staffing cuts at the National Weather Service and their potential repercussions on our state. Because in a sweeping move to reduce the federal workforce, the Trump administration has initiated significant layoffs within the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the parent agency of the National Weather Service. Approximately 10% of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's workforce has been terminated, translating to the loss of hundreds of positions nationwide. Michigan has not been immune to these cuts. The Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, headquartered in Ann Arbor, has seen about 20% of its staff laid off. This facility plays a crucial role in monitoring the Great Lakes, conducting research on ice coverage, algal blooms, invasive species, and the lake's impact on regional climate and weather patterns. The reduction in personnel at Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory raises concerns about the continuity and quality of research essential for maintaining the health and safety of the Great Lakes ecosystem. These lakes are not just natural resources, they are integral to Michigan's economy, supporting industries like fishing, tourism, and transportation. Any compromise in monitoring and research capabilities could have far-reaching consequences for both the environment and the state's economic well-being. And beyond Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, the broader implications for Michigan are troubling. The National Weather Service office in Gaylord, responsible for covering Manistee County, continues to maintain active services despite the uncertainty. However, the loss of experienced meteorologists and technical staff could strain the capacity to provide accurate and timely weather information. This is particularly concerning given Michigan's susceptibility to severe weather events, including snowstorms, thunderstorms, and flooding. Local meteorologists have voiced apprehension that these staffing cuts may jeopardize public safety. The National Weather Service's ability to issue accurate forecasts and warnings is paramount in preparing for and responding to severe weather conditions. Any degradation in this capability could leave communities vulnerable and ill-prepared. The ripple effect extends to various sectors reliant on precise weather data as well. Agriculture, aviation, shipping, and outdoor event planning are just a few areas that depend on the National Weather Service's service. Disruptions or delays in weather forecasting can lead to economic losses and compromise safety measures across these industries. In response to these developments, local supporters and the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity are stepping in to assist affected workers. Resources are being made available to help those laid off, access to unemployment benefits and job research assistance, aiming to mitigate the immediate impact on their livelihoods. The broader concern lies in the potential long-term effects of these staffing reductions. The Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory's announcement of an indefinite hiatus in communications services due to staff shortages underscores the gravity of this situation. The diminished capacity for research and data dissemination could hinder efforts to address environmental challenges unique to the Great Lakes region. So, while the full impact of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration staffing cuts on Michigan's weather services and environmental research is still unfolding, the initial signs are concerning. The essential services provided by agencies like the National Weather Service and Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory are foundational to public safety, economic stability, and environmental stewardship in our state. As these developments progress, it is crucial for our communities, industries, and policymakers to stay informed and advocate for the resources necessary to maintain these vital functions. And that's the Daily Dispatch for the day. Eyes open, voices loud.